Alright, this one's going to be a pretty quick one, I think. You know, as martial artists, maybe you've been in this situation, maybe not. Maybe you're not a martial artist. Maybe you're just kind of like my down-home ramblings, I guess. I don't know. There's something that I get with, I get said to me a lot, and the person who says it generally has no clue what the heck they just said. And that's okay. And they wouldn't know because they haven't learned. So you have to give them a grain of salt, and you have to kind of let this kind of go. And what I'm talking about is the mental mindset that some people have of, I'll get a gun, but just to scare them. You know, so not to shoot them or anything, but if they get in my house, well, you know, I'll put my gun in, I'll scare them. There's a problem with that. And it's this. If you get a gun to scare somebody, you just made a big mistake. Yeah. Look, if I'm in your house and I'm not supposed to be there, I'm up to no good. Somebody's up to no good. Somebody is in your house and they're not supposed to be there. They're up to no good. Scaring them, no. If you try to pull a gun on somebody, maybe they will be scared. Maybe they jump out the window. I doubt it. I think that people that pull a gun on somebody to scare them, they just found themselves in a huge problem. And it's the decision on whether or not to pull the trigger or press the trigger, or however the hell you want to say it. Yeah. Kind of goes back into the honor video, doesn't it? And it's not just firearms related. There's people that would love to say that, but it's not. I run into it all the time with people when they ask me about martial arts or training or anything like that, and they'll say, oh, you know, I'd like to, you know, be trained, or I'd like to learn training. Is there anywhere you would recommend, or is there, you know, and you just know that they don't mean it. They think it's something nice to say. Do me a favor. It's not nice to say. It's not. It's not cool. It's BS. And I don't know about you, but I'm at that point in my life where I am so tired of BS. And I think a lot of us as martial artists are. I think we're just tired of the BS. I think a lot of us are tired of the politics. We're tired of people saying, oh, you know, we'll go train tomorrow, or we'll go train, you know, I'd like to learn how to do things like that, but they never show up at a dojo. They don't. kind of my my video response to the mindset of, and this isn't even a response video, it's just an understanding that we have to have of the ilk of I'll buy a gun but to scare them. By the way, subcategory, buy a 12 gauge so that when you rack it, it'll cause people to shit themselves. Yeah, okay. No. No. All that does is let the bad guy know, hey, he's got a 12 gauge. Because it is a distinctive sound of the pump action being cycled. There is a distinct sound to it, absolutely. But at the same time, I hear that tells me that I need to drop down and draw and start firing. Oh yeah, by the way, since we're talking about that, if you're carrying, your hand should not go anywhere near that weapon unless you've decided to fire. That's it. That's it. Because the minute that my weapon clears its holster, I'm using it. Same thing with the knife. My hand goes anywhere near my knife, I'm using it. That's it. I've already gone through all the envelope codes in my head. I'm at that point. I'm pulling the trigger. Now then, you need to be the same way. Because there's that time in self-defense training, which is why you got the training to begin with. There's going to be a time when you need to pull the trigger. Maybe, maybe not. God, I pray not. But if there is, you better be ready inside yourself to pull that trigger. If you're not able to do that, or if you falter, or if you balk, the other guy, he might be better prepared than you. Or not, or maybe he's just meaner. And he sees the situation and takes advantage of it. You don't have that kind of time. It's like I say, and I've said this in a couple of posts and other things, and I want to hit on this here too while we're at it. If someone's within 10 feet, you don't own, holster, or gun. You don't use a gun within 10 feet. You don't. 10 feet is basically twice the size of the small area that I train in my kitchen. That's it. That's not a big area. They're within that range. You don't use a gun. It takes you too long to draw and fire. If you're fast, I would recommend having a knife and using a knife in that area. If they're within 5 feet, you won't even get a knife drawn. So that's how fast it happens, folks. That leaves hand to hand and what you have in your hand. If it's 5 feet or left, It's going to be what you have in your hand at the time, or your bare hands themselves. If you don't have the ability to handle a situation with your bare hands, adding a knife is just going to complicate things for you. If you don't know how to use a knife or a stick, adding a gun to it, it's just going to complicate and confuse you more. So I love the quotes that sometimes we get in our comments where, well, a gun beats everything. Yeah. Problem is that if you don't understand hand-to-hand combat, if you don't understand how to use a knife, you don't understand how to use a stick, you don't understand how to use any of those other weapons, you won't understand that gun when it comes time. Because it's just a progression of all the others. Yeah. There you go. I think I covered a few things that need to be covered. So now, if you're in a society that will allow you to have a gun, now when you're carrying your gun, or when you get ready to buy one, keep this in mind. Because honestly, it's going to keep you from either having the chance to defend yourself and your family, or failing miserably at it because you weren't prepared in your head. If you weren't prepared in your head, save yourself the chance. Save yourself the trouble. Anyway.